You're welcome to this session where we'll be discussing about sustainability in civil engineering and road construction. I'm by name Ejike Kizito Udo, who is Associate Head of Geographic Information System and Survey at CitiBIM Nigeria Limited. I'm key into sustainability and how that impacts our society. And I have one of my colleagues here who also introduced himself.
I'm Ofonime Gabriel I'm a civil engineer here at CitiBIM. Nice to be here.
You're welcome. So over the years, we have been discussing about sustainability in civil engineering and how that have affected, the environment and how it have affected, lifespan of constructions. So I just want to ask, from your own perspective, what you think are been most common issues, or what are the things that contribute to road failures and why it doesn't last for a longer period of time? Because we are key into sustainability in CitiBIM. What do you think is the issue?
Well, to be honest, Kizito, I feel sustainability, if you look at it inwardly, I feel sustainability has to do long-term. It has to do with long-term longevity of projects. So if you create a project now, you build a road, and then in the next 2 or 3 years, the pavement is already failing and people can't actually use the road anymore, then you have a problem. And I feel low-key, one of the main issues we have with road projects is rushed projects. They give you a short timeline and ask you to deliver the project on time. And what engineers tend to do in that sense is that they go into this project, try to get it done as quickly as possible, and they cut corners, get the cheapest material they can find. They don't necessarily wait to get the best material. They don't do all the necessary tests on most of the materials that they use, and then they end up using anyhow kind of materials. And they find themselves in situations where you don't really know if the pavement is good enough to actually carry the equivalent axle load that you're supposed to be designing for. They find themselves in that kind of situation, and then of course after like 2 or 3 years you realize that the pavement is completely failing. Another issue that we normally have with, especially with pavement, is water relationship on the pavement. And if you're rushing those projects, you notice that you cannot actually get the right compaction, especially on asphalt. And if asphalt has open gaps for water to get through, like we already know, water can pass through anything. So if there are air pores or air gaps inside your asphalt, you've not completely compacted it correctly, prepare that, and maybe in a few years the pavement is going to completely fail. So I just feel when it comes to sustainability, we need more time to work on projects. If there isn't enough time to work on projects, then expect that in the long run you're not going to have a very sustainable project.
That is a very good and insightful one, because it's very key, especially for contractors as well as civil engineers, to take this into consideration. And one key thing I just want to also get from you are, what are the solutions that I feel like needs to be done in order to avert some of these issues? Because most times people talk about use of inferior materials in construction and every of those things. So I just want to hear from you the solutions, and what do you think about use of inferior material by some people in the construction industry?
Well, in order not to give you a whole detailed breakdown about what you could possibly use as a solution, everything is going to really come down to communication between both clients and contractors. If everybody is a bit transparent with the information that they share, it's going to be easier for you to have sustainability long term. If you're communicating with your contractors and your clients, and then you make sure that everybody is on board on the materials that you're using, even the materials that you get, you communicate to everybody else involved in the project, all the stakeholders, that this is the quality that we're using. You don't go behind their back and say, we were supposed to get a particular grade of asphalt, but then we got this one instead, and then you don't tell them on time. If you can communicate the message on time that, okay, this is the grade that we found, it's different from the one that we're planning to use, it helps people walk around that, and that communication actually helps a lot. But if you skip that part and then you go behind closed doors and try to use substandard materials when you were supposed to use a particular grade of materials, you can have problems in the long run. So I just feel, for the main part, communication between clients, project managers, stakeholders, and even the contractors is like the main solution to solving sustainability in any construction project.
That is a very good and insightful. I really appreciate you for being here today.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you in our next section so I can give more insight on civil construction, and also in terms of other area that we feel need to be discussed.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.